Okay, welcome to another video. I'm just currently walking through the streets of Bangkok, Thailand, and I just finished reading some of Carl Jung's book, Synchronicity, on my balcony. And I'm walking on the edge of the road, so there might be some car sounds, and looks like there's a thunderstorm coming, so I'll be quick. So yeah, I just finished reading about the first half of the book, and it's just so interesting to read about these really cool experiments they were conducting like 50, 60 years ago on what's called like acausal connections. So time and space works using causality, which means that there's cause and effect. So over a 10-second period, if you throw the ball on second 1, on seconds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it goes on that parabolic arc. And then, on second 10, it's going to hit the ground and land somewhere. That's how time and space works on a kind of linear fashion. And what they were studying was acausal connections. So things that don't happen and aren't connected by that line of space and time. I'm just watching where I walk because it's a bit sketchy. So yeah, this is what they were studying in what's called the Rhine experiments. What they would do is they would have 25 cards in a deck, and there would be 5 sets of cards. So 5 of them had a star on them, 5 had a triangle, 5 had some curvy lines, 5 had a circle. There were 5 different shapes on the 25 cards. And what they would do is pick one of the cards and then ask a subject to guess what card it was. If probability was correct, like if they picked one card at a time from the deck and asked the patient to guess what card it was, then they should only be right 1 in 25 times. But what was happening was the subjects in the experiment were right more times than probability allows. So, this reminds me of a story. Well, it's not a story, it's an experience that I had in high school when I was studying math. And like the philosophical problem occurred to me back then. Although I had no idea what my intuition was actually like bringing me to think about at the time. But some guy just dropped a water bottle. Hang on a sec. Oh. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, yeah, I was in math class, and we were going over the answers of an exam, and it was about probability. And, this idea just kept coming to my mind. When I'm doing my working out in a probability equation, which is, what you see in those probability equations. Arm's getting sore holding this phone up. What you see in the probability equations is, it's always the same stuff. It's like there's 5 colors of a ball in a bag. Like there's 10 balls in a bag, and 3 of them are white, 3 of them are red, 3 of them are blue, and 1 of them's yellow, right? And then what's the probability of, picking the yellow ball? Blah blah blah. It's always this problem. And the problem I always saw was, how do you explain an event that doesn't fit the math, right? When the math fails, how are you going to explain that event? For example, right, if you have that bag of 10 balls and you pick a ball out 10 times and you pick the yellow one out 10 times, that means that the math has failed, right? The likelihood of that happening is so low, according to the math, right, that it requires a different explanation. There's some other factor causing those chance happenings to occur, right? And my math teacher just basically said the argument that if you increase the sample space to infinity, then the math works out. And what that means is, if you just, instead of picking the ball out 10 times, if you pick the ball out infinite times, then the probabilities will eventually reflect the math correctly, But the problem with that is that infinity doesn't exist in causality. Like, infinity is an idea, and human reality, at least, and physical reality is constrained by time and space, meaning that you can't pick out, like, you know, in a human lifetime, you don't have access to infinite time. You can't sit there and pick the ball out of the bag infinite times. So the point is that if you sit there for 10 minutes and pick the ball out of the bag 10 times, and you get the yellow one 10 times, right? The math says that that shouldn't happen, but it did happen. Like if it did happen, then it's happened. And you know, how do you explain that? Hopefully the audio is not too bad now that I'm on the main road. But yeah, if it did happen, how do you explain that? Because, you know, there needs to be some way to explain these what's called chance happenings, where things that shouldn't happen according to probability do happen, and they require a different explanation than statistics and mathematical probability in order to explain them. And that's what this book Synchronicity is about. Well, from what I've read so far, it's attempting to pose a solution to understand these acausal events, meaning events that are connected by events that are connected by something which is not operating inside space and time. Right? It's, you know, it's really interesting. It's a difficult concept to kind of grasp, but yeah, I just thought I'd quickly share some of my thoughts on it. Well, I'm on my way to get a roast chicken and some potatoes in me, and yeah, so there'll be more videos on Synchronicity coming soon as I keep reading the book. But for now, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like this video, just click subscribe. I'll be posting new videos every day, talking to you about the secrets of the universe. And when I say the universe, what I mean is psychic reality or psychological reality. You know, that's what interests me, and that's what I'm studying and learning about. And the biggest difference that I've kind of found in just from my own lived experience is that there are some really smart people in the field of psychology, but there is a massive difference between lived experience and theoretical experience. You know, the best example that I've kind of heard, and which fits my own life, is glandular fever, right? You can have a doctor who's read about glandular fever and studied it for 20 years, but who knows more about glandular fever? The doctor who studied it, or the person who suffered it and had glandular fever themselves and experienced the pain? You know, I had glandular fever myself, and for 3 months I could barely swallow, barely eat, barely talk. It was a miserable time. And so, you know, having that lived experience is a whole lot different to the theoretical experience, which you're only going to get from reading books or studying something. And so that's what I'm aiming to bring you on this channel, is a combination of theoretical experience and lived experience, so that you don't have to suffer through things that are unnecessary for you to suffer through, if you can just, you know, get some lived experience and theoretical experience from me. So anyway, getting to a busy part of town now. Yeah, if you did like this video, just click like. Just click subscribe. I'll be posting new videos every day. And if you're interested in learning about your mind's 4 functions and how to make better decisions, I've got a course called the 7-Day Decision Maker, and I'll put the link to it in the pinned comments in the description. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.